out of 25 boxes, I think it's 25 boxes, this is 21. 21 is pretty big because there's pretty big pieces inside. But also, we have box 11 finally arrived. Box 11. Better stay tuned. This is your Geek Fix. Hi, I'm Jeremy. This is your Geek Fix, and as you already might know, the close-up footage for this episode is gone. It's lost. But I will tell you, having seen the whole thing through, it doesn't affect it very much. It's still very good watching. And as you might already know as well, this is a full hour episode that covers 2 boxes, me freaking out, and some censored nudity. So get ready for that. Keep watching. This is your Geek Fix. So last time we had box 20, and while putting it together, there were some parts that were missing, so I had to order some parts and waited for that box to arrive and got it. We've had a few occasions where we didn't receive the box we were supposed to get, or where they sent us 2 of a box we didn't need, things like that. Those things happen. On this occasion, though, we had box 11 never came. We had a video called box 12, why we skipped box 11. This is box 11 right here, and so far, nothing has really come along that required us to use anything or to build upon that box. So we kind of got away with not having to do anything with it. But it did finally arrive, and as anticipated, here we have a lot of parts that we've already seen. Some of these really big pieces that were to the other leg that we didn't put together. But they're similar pieces to what we put together for the, which one was it, right? Left? Yeah, one of the other legs. This foot right here. So it looks like this would be the left foot, left leg that we're going to be putting together. So the right leg is what we've already done a lot with. And as you can see, these parts back here and these parts that kind of come out, that's what we still need to put together. And that came in this current box. So a lot of greebly parts. A lot of these pieces, I like this one right here. It has all these little holes in it and things. And then we also have, looks like one of my magazines got kind of wrinkled, but magazines 39 through 42 are those are stages that we currently have. So, and these magazines we're getting into disassembled, the end of an era for Iron Man. It kind of starts to get a little bit dark, of course, here. These are a lot of the things that we kind of saw or heard about and sort of inside of the movies. Remember that the MCU was very different in the actual comics. For example, Happy Hogan, who is actually the producer-director of Iron Man, or most of the more recent Iron Man movies. I'm trying to think, did he do more than just 1 through 3? I can't remember. But at any rate, they also include a movie special edition, which again, I think the thing I finally picked on fairly recently was the fact that the movie version, they always have the magazine in this dark background color, different layout, kind of like this. And so that's kind of what differentiates it from when we're talking only about the comic books, for example. And so, yeah, here we have Vision and Age of Ultron. And then, like I said, when we get into the comics, here you have this white background, different layout. Great image here. I wish there wasn't a crease here. That would be great to use for something else in relation to the Avengers. So starting off with magazine or stage 39 right here, I'm going to be pulling over this big old bag, box, whatever you want to call it, right here. There's some screws hiding in this one, probably somewhere. Probably there's screws hiding. And put this right there. And then put that there. So we got this great big long piece right here. I do have some screws. This time they actually made a little special spot where it was sitting inside the box. Why they can't do that every time? That'd be pretty nice. We also have a little teeny piece. I'm gonna be really careful when I take these out. So we got this little tiny part right here, and this part right here, which we have already seen before. So because we have done this before, I think what I'm going to do is just show the quick building of these parts, which is not too much of a big deal because there's really not much to say about them. I think the biggest thing to say would be to tighten it as much as possible, just as we have learned to do in the past in order to make that look really good. That was it. Okay. Then now we have, it's funny, I don't remember just making the knee before, but apparently we did, and there it is, right there. So all I'm going to be doing, I'm going to open up this bag right here. It has all these greeblies in it, which was kind of one of the cool pieces to put together last time. I think I still remember where everything goes. So 2 sets of screws in this one. Those over there, and yikes. Okay, and then all right, and got all those there. I've also got the M screws, these IP screws. Okay, and so what I'm doing first is I'm attaching this piece to this piece, and basically all I have to do that is I'm just taking this part right here, hooking it on over that, and we're going to be doing that using IM screws. Well, here's a little problem. This says IP screws on it, right there. It says IP, but this bag is supposed to say IM because they have pictures of the 2 sets of screws that it's supposed to come with right there. And so those do not have IP on them. So let's see if we have some IM screws in here. IP! I found some IP. Is that what I'm looking for? No, I'm looking for IM. Okay. Well, at this point, I think I just need something going to connect these, and maybe it's this right here. I'll try one of these screws. I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping it's going to work for me. I think I'm supposed to be using my other screwdriver now, aren't I? The black one? Or it's just right. I can't really afford with, oh my gosh, that's it. That is it. That is the right screw to use. Let's hope that this is the same thing. Oh, shoot. Okay. All right. Look at that. I got them in there. I think that must be about the right kind of screw, so got lucky there. And since we're supposed to have 3 of those, that tells me we're done with the supposed IM screws. Now, I'm putting this piece like this. And then I'm also looking for my foot, which is right here. Look at that. Yay. I think last time I needed to take this part off the top of the foot so that I can move it around without it getting in the way. Just like this, right? Great. Oh, like that. Okay. I don't remember. Maybe this has been long enough that it doesn't matter that we're doing it again. Because honestly, I don't remember that part. I do remember struggling with some pieces. Another thing I'm going to say is the part they're having to do now. Oh, I think I opened up the wrong kit. That's why I have the wrong screws. There are issues with trying to make things on a video, which is, sure enough, they're there. There's our IM screws and our EM screws. Look, now we got everything we need. Yay! For us. I have twice the EM screws. I'm going to go ahead and add these EM screws to my other set of EM screws. There we go. So these are the parts that I'm doing. This part right here is metallic. I think it feels like aluminum, if I had to guess. This part's plastic. And so once when I've got that part on there, what I'm doing, I was right. Okay, so I take it like this, put it down like this, okay? And then fit it on top of these other holes like that, okay? Good enough. Now we're taking those EM screws, which are these new ones. Now I got plenty of right here. I'm just sliding those right on into there. I'm gonna quickly, I remember last time I ran into a problem though where we weren't supposed to do something, or we were, and I missed the step and then had to take it partially apart to get it inside. Do you remember that? I remember that. So, at any rate, nice and tight on there. All right. So we've got those 3 EM screws in there. Then I'm bringing oh, I don't bring this part in yet. I've got to wait for this part, which is in the next magazine, which is right here. And yeah, this is bringing back a lot of good memories though too. So we take, in advance, we're taking this part and putting it inside of here. Interesting. To click it together. So take it like this and, oh whoops, hang on, didn't do it right. Hang on, don't click together. Hey, don't, there it goes. Okay, whew. Gotta kind of slide it over one side first, like that, and then we're bringing it and clicking it into place like that. There we go, just like that. Bada bing, bada boom. Now I'm gonna bring that, oh actually not yet. I'm gonna screw in 2 IP screws, which are these that I first took out thinking they were whatever the other one was supposed to be. We're just screwing those right on into there like that. We only have 2 IP screws, so obviously this is the whole thing that those were dedicated to. And then, perfect. All right, then we take that, we're gonna be laying it on top of this, clicking it also, kind of clicking it into place. Yeah, just like that. And now, I'm gonna be using, obviously, it's gonna be more EM screws because that's what I got plenty of. We're putting in 3 of those. One goes right here, like so. Okay, that's one. And then 2. I should have, even though I lost one now, I should have 1 extra still because we had 2 bags. So that equals 2 extra ones. I kind of have to really, okay, and 1 more. Oops, this might not be the right one. There we go. And putting that right there as well. So, there you go. Now, we've got that all put together on that part. Next, we're bringing in all my individual greeblies, and I think these turned out to be all the same, right? Not a different size or anything, so I don't think I have to keep track of putting them in a certain way. Whoops. I just have to stick them in. I remember thinking last time, if it wasn't for those screws, honestly, these would be a lot easier to put in, you know, beforehand. But yeah, there was another part that I thought was hard. Oh, there is. Yeah, place the 4 on here first. I know it says to do that, but there's a piece that I gotta put in. I don't know if it's this one or this one. I just remember thinking it would have been easier if I would have put it in before I had to put in the other part. This is this piece right here, right there. I'm gonna go ahead and stick it on, just because. So, and then this one's the next one, which goes like so. Ho ho! There it is. Huzzah! Okay, got that one in there. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and put these pieces in, which stick upward like this. And really, yeah, there's nothing else that secures these in. They just stick them in, plug them in, and just keep going like that. And this one right here as well. Boom. Like that. And then there you have that portion of the leg. And then the last piece that clicks into place, it looks like it's supposed to go in like, oh, it goes in this direction. So like that and that. And I push it down. And that. Oops. But it'll come back out. Keep pulling it. All right. There we go. So you got all these details now. It looks like there's some hydraulics and things. And then at that point in time, I think I'm safe to put back on my front part of the shoe. Here we go. All right. So that's that portion. And then what we're going to do is wrap things up with kind of this cool piece that I like. I mentioned earlier, it has all the little holes in it. It's like little venting holes. 3 little transparent like washers that are in there. I don't remember doing that part either. I might not have. We'll find out. Here are some more screws though that came with that. They were inside the package. Okay, so I'm taking this piece right here and I'm hooking it on to this piece right here, just like so. And then we're locking that down using this piece right here, which looks like we put the shiny side down. So I'm going to be screwing that into place right here using these EM screws that came with it. So one of the benefits with this kit is I've gotten used to being able to just put it together, and then when you're done with the phase, you don't have to worry about those screws anymore. Whereas with R2, you gotta hold on to everything pretty much forever because you never know when they're gonna bring back or what you're gonna be expected to still keep and use. So, at any rate, I know some people commented about how disorganized the table seemed. And like I said, I take all of these, I usually do several builds at one time, and because I don't need all the screws, there will be some screws and parts sitting around on the table, but you'll notice at the same time there's some things I couldn't keep on the table anymore because there's just no room to be able to put it together and have my stand on here, as well as all the parts, as well as all the magazines and all the screws. For such a small piece, there's really long screws for this. Okay, so there's that right there. So you get that nice and posable because I did it nice and tight. Perfect. And then what we're gonna be doing, oh, please don't tell me. Okay, good. This is gonna be those things where they're like, now set that aside for a few weeks. All right, now we're jumping right into it. So we're gonna be bringing that part over here. And we're hooking it. Oh, that's right. Because it actually does. It hooks right on. So there's some little holes here, right there. And this has to slide over so that when we screw into it, we'll have an actual hinge there that will let it close, just like this. And so Now I just gotta screw that closed. Also using EM screws. Trial one. I can try it again here. The hole seems smaller than the EM screw. Nope, there it goes. Sure enough. Okay. I'm gonna tighten that all the way until I got the other one on. Well, this one's lined right up. Whereas it was not so lined up on the other side. Still hard to get it in there though. This one, the advice I have is make sure you have that hole perfectly lined up. Because otherwise it will not go in. And, okay. Yep. It clicks together. That was it. It looks good. Tight on that side. Tight on this side. There you go. Look at that. Huh? And then, yeah, so you got the back area that opens up. You can see the details inside once again. Then on the front, this one also comes forward. So you get all this articulating action. Anyway, there you go. Pretty good. I think I gotta tighten up one of the ankles possibly. Or I don't know. I don't know if you can tighten up those ankles. It does want to go like this. So there's some joints I know I'm gonna go back and tighten. Now they have more knowledge. But that's it for box 11. Now, bringing us up to the future. Not box 12, but the opposite, box 21. Which I am going to fit somewhere right here. And then, in box 21, we have some really big parts. I mean, look at the size of that thing. That is huge. Anyway, so that's obviously the back piece, which is cool. That means maybe the whole top is gonna be finished. I think this is more the top of his back. I don't know, but there's springs in here, and I hate it whenever there's springs because that always means tough parts. This is the other arm piece, which we haven't put on either of those arms correctly, or we haven't put on either of those pieces. Here's the other one. We still have the metal piece. And it looks like more of our base. Ooh, curious. I guess this piece must be part of the dolly, I'm guessing. And then we have some other areas that are for something else. And then clearly we have our lights, which we're going to start attaching to the base. Which I don't even have the base over here because it couldn't fit in anywhere. I'll tell you more about the base here in a little while. We have more instructions for our base. And then the magazine 79 through 82. So, wow, I gotta show all the boxes over here. Okay. And these magazines are getting into quote unquote the new team, which is, I don't know. I mean, it's some of our weird Avengers, like Red Hulk, and of course, you know, the other Vision, Iron Man in Love. There's Pepper Potts, but also all the other women that, honestly, the movie was less involved that way. We had less romances or anything long term that we remember, including, I don't know, maybe I'll just censor this out, including apparently, oh my gosh, yeah. At any rate, just be aware if you're putting this one together, don't do it with your kids, is I guess what I would say. There's some scandalous pictures. And then, of course, we're getting back into the movie again. The way that we know is because of the layout. Getting into Thanos and end of Iron Man, really. Or at least Tony Stark's Iron Man, which in the comics ended in a whole different way. But it is what it is. So I'm going to be starting off with number 79. Now this is an appropriate time to bring up. 79 through 82, we will be done with 82 today. This is box 22, supposedly out of 25. So we're really getting close here. Sorry, this is 21 out of 25. So, I mean, yeah, 4 more boxes, which I'm about to put together another one after this. That really, it's really weird to think. But beginning with issue 73. Oops, I almost showed that same picture again. If you want to know what I'm talking about, I guess you'll have to order the magazine to check it out. Why all of a sudden buy this one? I don't know. Wow, this looks really cool. So we're now working with our chest again, which I still say is looks a lot like something out of Black Panther, but I've done 2 different things with this top. On one side, I actually ended up hot gluing it a little bit, and it really stabilized things. It makes it look much better on this side. I didn't do that here, and as you can see, it's kind of loose on my shoulder. But it's possible when I put it in the back piece that it's going to hold it in place, and then maybe that glued side will become a problem, which has been my concern. So we'll wait and see. We'll find out right now if that is an issue. So, oh, also I keep on sticking in this arc reactor, and I don't think it's meant to have that right now. But anyway, so what we're going to be doing is bringing back this piece, which we did in the last box. And I'm also going to be opening up, which one is it? So it's 79, right? 79, that's this one. All right. 3 packages of screws. Wow, okay. I think I'll keep those together there. Put these over here. And then all right. So the first thing we're doing is just assembling this a little bit more. And what we're going to be doing to do that is, the other side. Remember that I had some problems with this little piece right here in the last one? I actually ended up doing something to it to make it work, but it wouldn't work otherwise. I mean, literally, it didn't fit. So I'm curious to see if it fits this time. We will find out right now. So the first part that we're putting on is this part again. Has that little notch right there. And so, let's see here. It should be right there. And then we're putting in our first screw, which is the QP screw. QP. Okay, these are super long screws. There's 2 of them because we only need 1, apparently. And I'm gonna screw that right into the center there, just like that, until it's nice and tight. And okay. And then supposedly we use this little round piece right here, and we put that right inside of there, which is supposed to make it all groovy, for being able to also keep it where it's tight enough that it'll lock. But we'll find out here. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is taking this piece right here and this piece right here, and I'm going to be sticking it through like this. And supposedly, let's see here. Remember, this is the one that has 3 pieces plus a little sticky-outy part, and that little part has to go into this hole right here. Whoops, into that hole right there. So, again, it makes it too. There's no way to get it on there. Yeah, be careful not to tighten it too much, as it may damage the plastic pieces. Well, yeah. Oh, it does show though. There's a little bit of a gap that can occur. So maybe follow the instructions. Don't follow the instructions. It's always a trick. So the screws I'm supposed to be using is LP screws. It does look like there's a little space that's supposed to be in between. Oh, there it goes. Okay, got a little bit of that one. Do my next one, I guess. So, I suppose, I mean, it doesn't explain this very well, but the whole idea is that I would screw them in a little bit for each one, and then go around and tighten them all so that, because you will have this gap, and it just makes it real awkward filling up. Okay, and you gotta be careful, it says, because you could break the plastic part, which I don't want, right? Don't want to break the plastic. Ooh, I do see how that's a lot stiffer though. And I get it, I understand, but why not make the gasket fit? That's my thing. Okay. Let me see here. So next, I'm supposed to bring this part over. And we're gonna be screwing that in to here, along here. So the way that we have to do this is we're taking these pegs right here and we are pointing them downward onto these right here, those pegs. And so, how do I know which side's right side up versus right side down? Is there preferred? Oh, it looks like, okay, so I want the low ones to be on the bottom like this, is my understanding, I believe. So, just like that. Let's see here. So fix our base to the position first, unscrew and remove part 77B. Oh crap. I have to take apart what we already built. After all that, we have to take this part off, it says. So unscrew this part. Why did we put it together then? I mean, what's the benefit of that? Okay. Then we put that onto here, like this. Just like that. Okay. So those parts fit like that. So it's just like that with the part open. And then what I'm gonna do next, we're gonna screw through these two holes right here to secure it, and that's using IM screws, which I have right here. So right there. This time it does say IM, not IP or LP or anything like that. We're only using the screws for this because there's only two of them and we only have two holes. So there's one going down, and then I think I do have to screw this as tight as I can because I'm going into metal here, and then two, and tight as I can once again. Okay, there we go. It's nice and secure. And then we're gonna put the other part back on, I guess, which already has screws in it. I left them in, though you do want to make sure that they're lined up beforehand, so that, there we go. Okay. Kind of a waste of an opportunity. Like they could have put batteries in there or something. I don't know. It seems like it's strange that we built this box that really. And there's holes that I could have stuck the screws through. I can still tighten the other screws through these big holes. Interesting. Any rate, okay. Now that we've got that, we're gonna be taking these pieces right here. So I have a couple of these. One for each side, and we're connecting those using EM screws. Let's see here. I guess these are the leftover EM screws that I had over here. So, which one goes on which side? Are they marked? This one's L. It says L right here. It has an L. So that's the left one. As in his left or my left? I would guess it's his left. So let's see here. For example, yep, that's right. So I should say left. So here's the left arm, for example, and it's going to be connecting right here, and I'm attaching it using 2 of those EM screws. So okay, there we go. And we got these arm pieces, which are nice and tight now, admittedly, even though they were scary to put on. All right, and then I'm gonna flip on the other side. Same thing, just right here. Okay. It's always the last screw that becomes a problem, isn't it? That's kind of cool looking. Look at that. So, yeah, got the 2 side pieces with those arm pegs, and okay, so we've got that part, and now, and now we're gonna be attaching the neck joint, which is right here, and it looks like all the more there is to that. Doesn't matter which side it, or which direction it is. It's just that it's coming in like this and sliding through there is what I can see. So then the chest is now basically like this. I'm going to keep on putting this part in just because it's worth it to see. There you go. Look, I can still turn it on with the button behind. It's pretty cool. At any rate. Alright. Okay. But that's only the first magazine of this set. 80. And so we're opening this piece. There's not a lot to this one. Just a piece with some screws. I kind of like that. Less to think about. Some of this has been kind of stressful. So kind of a cowl thing right here. Inner breastplate support. Oh, this goes underneath the breastplate, just above the crotch area. So basically, the way that this fits is like this, it says. So you got this which way, like this direction. So you flip it like this, and then we're slotting it in. You see that there's little slots along here? See, like that? We're just gonna slot it right in along those. Oops. Okay. And maybe, yep. There we go. Okay, that's tricky. Oh, there it goes. It fell into place now. And then we're gonna secure that using the screws that I just got, which are HM screws. Somebody in the factory must have been just like, M? M's all that matters, right? Doesn't matter what the other letter is. It seems like it's fitting though, so maybe it's fine. Okay. All right, so that's all one piece now. And then it shows you how the next pieces go together. And it's looking like we're pretty much into having them done. 81. All right. Oh, finally, we get to open up this big back piece. Look at that. That is a major Iron Man. This is the piece, if you've seen the intro to a lot of the Avenger and Marvel movies, they show shots of all the characters. Iron Man's one of them, and they start with a picture from his back. And essentially, the part that you see this right there. This is going, so yeah, kind of stands out. Got a couple of greeblies and some screws, which are actually inside the package again, like that. I love, look at the paint job, it's great. Great paint job. Okay, so what to do, IP screws. I'm screwing these little bits onto here using IP screws, and they go into here like this is what happens. And then we're flipping it over, holding those in place, flipping it over and getting these IP screws that it came with. Put on. So we got 1, and 2, nice and tight. So now they're part of that. And some things I wonder why they didn't just, do it that way to begin with, because obviously they can do 2- and 3-tone paint, and we're now attaching plastic instead of metal, but still cool. I'm not going to complain about it. This is our last package here, right here, and this one has the screws loose. It also has some springs, which it usually means we're going to be doing something that likely will shoot off in some direction. You could lose them. It also might mean that we're only going to use one of these springs. Oh, yep, and it has an articulating part. So, gotta be careful. Don't want to lose these. I'm going to just put the package like that. What we're going to be doing is taking this piece right here, right like that, and this little spring right here. So right here, as you can see, I'm getting this into place. I'm going to stick it inside of this hole, but I also need for this little piece right here that's sticking down to go on top of there. So I'm going to try and lift it up now on top. This is what makes it a torsion spring. In the medical field we have a torsion. Makes me think of other things, conditions that are very painful. Look it up. Okay, so all right. I think I've got it. I think I might have done it. Just gotta get through one last little area here. There it goes. Is that it? I think so. Okay, that's how it works, I guess. Yep, that is it. Okay, so it bends all the way down like this, and then goes all the way up like that. Okay, and it's spring loaded. So great, really great. Okay, that was slightly hard, but there's more springs, so I know it's gonna get harder, maybe. Oh, and we're using both springs, so you don't get a choice. This better work, or else you're out of luck. So apparently, this little piece right here, that sticks through the back right here, and it's gonna match up like that. But I'm gonna be flipping that over, making sure it's still pushed down like that. Okay. And as you can see, inside the button, we got 2 little notches. And you might say, what's going on those notches, Jeremy? What is that? And the answer is, it's where my springs go. And the other springy part attaches, which just makes it really complicated and hard to put together. In fact, yeah, very hard. I do want to have my screws ready to roll on this one. I'm thinking I'm going to have these HM screws ready to go. So what I'm going to do, because of the spring, I'm going to use both of my screwdrivers and just have them preloaded, so that when I get this on, I can operate it using one hand. I want to kind of bend this down as I put it on top of these springs here. Maybe. Oh, come on, I almost got it. Oh, I did it. Oh, can I do it? Oh, yes. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Okay, here we go. See if I can do it with this one hand. Okay, let me show you now what I did. So, as you can see, this part has to be on top of here. So you want to make sure that it's not underneath, which it was before for me. So when I push on the back, right here, when I push on that, it pushes this up like that. Okay, and then, oh, no. No, was that her last magazine? No. No, come on. No. Oh, that was the last magazine for the set. Darn it. Can I see? Can I see how it works yet? Do I have to wait for the next one? Let me just try. I mean, we don't want to wait, do we? No, you know what? I don't think this is for turning on and off the arc reactor. I think this is for detaching the bottom half of the body. I think I was mistaken on that. And I think, oh, I know I shouldn't be doing this. I know I shouldn't. I know, I shouldn't be doing that. I shouldn't be doing this, right? But I mean, come on, look at that. Look at that right there, right? Oops, let's prick the arc reactor in there too. Yeah, like that. Oh, it's looking pretty snazzy, right? At any rate, so that's that, I guess. So, I had to bring back our base, and because we're putting down the next part to that base. But I will say, I can't even keep it on the table anymore while I'm constructing things. If you can see, it fills up the table pretty well, and it's really big. I've decided it's gonna be hard for me to put it most places. I'm still trying to figure out where to store it, but I'm thinking about on the floor. Because like I said, this is huge. I actually got to see, because some people have completed theirs recently and sent me their specs. I was right. It is way bigger than the 1/4 scales that are out there, and so it's like the size of a small child. And where do you put small children? Well, not in the basement. That's not nice. That's what my parents did when I was Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Couple block things. I don't know what these are. These might be legs of some sort. They almost look like they're a little bent or something. And well, actually, it's really in there. There we go. Okay. We're actually working with these right off the bat. So what we're doing is we're taking two things. These right here are sticky strips. Being sticky. How come? Oh, there we go. There's 3 of them. So I'm going to take one of those, snap like that. We're going to peel off the back of it, sort of just like that. And then we're going to also peel the other side of it a little bit. And then I'm putting it inside this little grooved area that's right here. And so pressing the tape down into that segment. You got it, sir. Just like, oop. Well, it's too late now. Oh, maybe not. Gosh. Okay, there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. And then go whip like that. All right. I'm going to do this one at a time. I know I'm going to be doing the same thing on the other one, but okay. So we put this like this. And then I'm taking this right here, and in this direction, I'm going to be laying it down onto that glue stick, strip, whatever you're gonna call it. Just like this. Okay. Great. That's one down. Let's do it to the other one now. I'm doing the same thing here as I did on the other one. Okay. And now, haha, huzzah. Oh, these are for the outside. I should have recognized these. I should have known these. These go out here, like that. And so, somehow, like that. But, anyway, now they screw on, I guess. And they do lift it up, apparently. But we only have 2 of them so far. I almost am tempted not to do it the way they're saying, just because I know it's going to be uneven, but still. Yeah. I'm going to wait for a second on the legs. I'm going to start with these bottom pads. So flipping this over, now, if you look at this, you can see that I had to tape this closed because my panel broke where the clip is, but no biggie, it's not going to be showing. But at the same time, this is the side that I'm going to be connecting everything else on. 2 10As. Are we going to be connecting on this side? Oh, and that's why, okay, I get it now. I get it. And, like I said, those 2, that one and that one, go on. I am using the IM screws I got. Okay. So we only got 2 legs. So we're putting one that goes right here, and one, even though we only have half of it, over here. There we go. Now I can go ahead and connect my wires, which those 2 wires are going to be hooking right here. So I'm going to take, hopefully, show it go like this. Here we go. Okay, so we need to turn that one around. So go like this, push it down like that. I wish I could go ahead and test this. I bet you I could, but it'd be nice if I could just see that it works. That's that part. Now I'm gonna flip this over to this side, like that. And now we've got these right here and up here. And I'm going to be attaching those using, I think it's JP screws. This is probably what's going to help to line up some of those pieces that I said I was worried would be resulting in some light bleed before, but now with these in here, maybe not. All right, there they are. Not too shabby. I like it. If we could turn it on, let's see here. Where's that hidden? There's a hidden one somewhere here. Oh, there it is. That's the button right there. So we'd push that, and it would all turn on and light up our gigantic, ginormous Iron Man. Look at this. We also have 2 legs now that I can technically. These aren't even. This isn't even the full leg. And keep in mind that this is just a majority leg. This is just above where his kneecap is. So I mean, to give you a perspective, here's my hand. There's how big things are just so far, right? Like that's how big we are talking. And so it's still going and going. Let's see. We put up this way up here, probably where it is going to be. I mean, like it's huge. I don't know. At any rate, want to thank Fanhome for providing us with this model to be able to review, but they also gave us a promo code. So if you're interested in purchasing this, use the code Tony Stark. Also, I'll continue to review these as they come out. So if you can't get it, you can also experience this by proxy. Remember to like, subscribe, comment below, keep watching. This is your Geek Fix.